swarm debrief is one of the 4 learning responses within PSERF. It can be used after a patient safety incident or any activity where there is something new to learn about the work system. It should take place as soon as possible after the event with those involved. It uses the SEEPS model to explore with the team their work as done and identify work system factors which help or hinder everyday work. It identifies any system level learning which can contribute to safety improvement activity. You can use this swarm debrief guide to support your learning response.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming to this debrief swarm. So first of all, I want to say that I'm really sorry that you've been involved in an incident, because it's never nice, is it, to be involved in anything like that. I'm a bit new to this, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to use a few notes. But before I start, is everyone okay to be here? Are you all right? Yeah, everyone happy to have a conversation? Yeah. Great. Yeah, okay. So this is a no-blame discussion, and I just want to remind everybody of the basic assumption. I know you're all familiar with this, but that is what we hold for this debrief as well, because really the purpose is to create a safe space where you feel like you're able to talk about what really happens at work, what things help you, what things hinder you, obviously in relation to this incident as well. Is everyone familiar with the SEEPS model? Yeah? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So just in case you need a reminder, so we're using the SEEPS model. This is our framework just to help us with this discussion, and we're just thinking about what factors, for us as people, might influence how we interact with different parts of perhaps how the organisation's set up, maybe the layout, the environment, the tasks we do, the tools and technology. And again, thinking about how did all these things come together to help us or perhaps to hinder us. Okay, so if I leave this here, you can see there's a couple of suggestions there as well, which might help. Okay, so the swarm's going to take about 15 minutes. Is that okay? I know the ward is really busy at the moment, but this is so helpful for us because we're going to use what comes out of the conversation and sort of feed that back to the safety team so we can carry on making improvements. Okay, before we start, should we just quickly introduce ourselves? So I am Lucy, I'm the ward manager.
I'm Arya, the nurse. I'm here.
I'm Isha, I'm a doctor working in AMU.
And I'm Sarah, I'm the HCA.
Okay, thank you. So as you know, we're here to talk about Mr. Borealis. So he is the gentleman that had the double paracetamol incident. He's a 60-year-old gentleman. He was admitted to ED on Wednesday evening. And he came in with non-surgical abdominal pain, nausea and vomiting, and he's also got some chronic back pain history as well, which is why he was on the painkillers. So he came to our ward on Thursday evening, and he'd had a dose of paracetamol down in ED, and unfortunately had a second dose when he came to us. He's fine. I've spoken to him. He would like us to talk about information and how we hand over medications from ED to our ward as part of this debrief. Also, I spoke to the ED nurse who was on shift yesterday. Unfortunately, he can't join us, but he did give us a bit of information. So he said that Mr. Borealis, when he was down in ED, was being nursed on some majors chairs because they didn't have any beds, and obviously that was making his back worse as well, poor man. And he was having a lot of pain, so he gave his IV paracetamol. It was due at 6 o'clock at 5 o'clock. Then he went for his break, and when he came back, Mr. Borealis had been transferred to our ward. I asked him why it took so long for him to hand over, because I think it was 7 o'clock, wasn't it, when he actually handed over. And he said that they were just too busy, but he also said that happens quite often. Is that? Yeah, that's what you've experienced. So Isha, so you were working Wednesday and Thursday evening, is that right? That seems like quite a lot of hours.
Yeah, normally I work 9 to 5 wards, but sometimes do locum hours in the evening.
Yeah.
Just trying to save some money for my wedding.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, okay.
So actually, I know Mr. Borealis quite well.
So thanks for clarifying. So would you like to... Sorry, hold on a minute. Hello? Yeah? No, I'm afraid we're still full. No patients going home yet. Okay, thanks, bye. Sorry about that. Okay, so you were telling me about the facts from your perspective.
Yeah, so I was on Wednesday evening. I was medical clerking doctor, and we had 7 patients down in ED. I saw Mr. Borealis, and I knew that he would be admitted later onto our ward. So I prescribed all his medications, both on the paper chart and the ICM at the same time.
Okay.
Medical patients are spending quite a lot of days in ED nowadays, and so we write up the medications. They come in from home. I knew he would have been having this chronic back pain and on a regular analgesia, so I just had them on both the charts.
Okay. So I think what I'm hearing is that actually patients are staying quite a long time down in ED, and so we're prescribing their regular medications on their drug chart?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and as I said, patients have been staying in ED for 24 hours, even longer than that. And rather than us going back and forth for doing the prescription for on the paper chart, so it's quicker and easier to write all these medications both at the same time on paper and ICM.
Okay.
Then when they get admitted to the ward, everything is already on ICM.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just check that? Because I thought usually the doctors prescribe everything on the ICM when the patient comes to the ward and not in ED.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Was thinking the same thing?
Yeah, you're right, but recently we have been told that we need to do both at the same time. It's to avoid some incidents happening in omitting medical prescriptions. So when the patient arrives out of hours, the prescription is not there on ICM, and then they are likely to miss out their regular doses.
Okay, we have had a few of those incidents, but I wasn't aware that changed. Did you know that?
No.
That changed? No,
I didn't know that.
Okay, did you know? Okay, so just to clarify, you've been recently asked to change your practice, so you're prescribing downstairs in ED on both the paper chart and also on the ICM. And I'm just wondering, how does that impact you?
Well, that's what we were supposed to do, and that actually makes sense to write both together, like you are writing on the paper drug chart and ICM, just to avoid any future errors in medical omissions in the ward. But when you are down in ED and it's difficult to find a free computer and you're just waiting for that, I was just thinking, like, if I would have done in that old way, maybe that this couldn't have happened. To be honest, like, I just don't really know what happens to the paper drug chart when it comes from ED to the ward, but assume that the nurse would have read it and in the handover. I would have thought the nurses would check the paper chart before they gave the paracetamol.
Okay, so we'll try not to make any judgments on what sort of should or shouldn't have happened, or whether we could have prevented something as well, because I think it's really easy, isn't it, to look back with that hindsight bias and make something really complex look very simple. Okay, so you took the patient from ED. Would you like to... Sorry, hold on a minute. Would you mind just getting the door?
Sure.
Just see who that is a sec.
Hiya, sorry, I'm just in the middle of a swarm. I'll come and help you in about 5-10 minutes. Thanks.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Sorry about that. So you were going to tell me what the facts from your perspective you were looking after the patient.
Oh yeah, I received the patient around 5:45 from ED, and the moment he arrived, he was complaining of pain. By that time, she was assessing the patient, and she said that it has been prescribed on ICM. That what normally happens, and so I gave the medications around 6 o'clock, and by the time I received the handover from ED around 7 o'clock, I think, when the nurse came back, and the nurse said that the paracetamol was already given at 5 o'clock. After that, I really felt very bad. I thought like I should have checked on him, like I should have checked with the patient whether he had paracetamol already. I really feel very bad.
Okay, well, just a reminder that we are using the SEEPS model, and that's to make sure that we think about all the different work system factors that might have contributed to this incident, but also are, in our system every day that make it harder sometimes for us to do our job. So do remember the SEEPS model. So do you remember seeing a paper chart when the notes came up?
No, I don't remember of seeing any drug chart. Sarah tidied all the paper charts the moment we received the patients, and I don't remember seeing any drug charts. And it doesn't matter also because all the drugs are on the ICM, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So Sarah, you tidied away the notes. Do you remember seeing a paper drug chart?
Yeah, I think there was one, but I think I'd already filed it away. I'm sorry, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
I mean, don't worry. I just think maybe just check the staff if they need it before you file it away.
Yeah, that's true. Just at the minute, we've updated our fundamentals of care level to bronze. So we've been having a lot of stress from senior nurses coming in and doing inspections and things like that. So matron's been on at me to keep everything tidy, and at the time there were so many patient notes everywhere, so I just tidied everything up and put everything away before I got into any more trouble.
Yeah, I can imagine it can be quite stressful, and actually, do you know what? It's really important to keep the area tidy and clean and sort of, free of clutter. Maybe you could just check with the staff that they've actually finished with the notes before you tidy them away.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, they expect you to do everything, all your documentation, and there's no enough time. And this ward has been very busy for the past month.
I even don't know what this bronze means. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, so bronze means it's a sort of quality rating of the ward. So, it's just things like your falls, pressure ulcers, those kind of audits. So, just listening to all of you, it does sound like your workload's been quite high. What's the impact of that?
It's been awful. We're so busy that we're not getting breaks.
Yes, it has been particularly very bad because winter has already started and we are receiving more respiratory patients in our ward. It's completely out of order.
Yeah. This is my second year in this trust, and it seems busier this year. And also, we are having quite a lot of medical team sicknesses as well. So yeah, it's even harder.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm really sorry to hear that, but actually, I do agree. It's been really tough, and I just think everyone's tired, aren't they? They're tired, and the workload has been really high. What was it like on Thursday when the incident happened?
Really busy. I remember we had 3 admissions after 5.
Yeah, it was very busy.
That's normal for us now.
Yeah. Okay. So thinking about the SEEPS model, so remember that we're trying to use the SEEPS model to help us. Is there anything else that you think might be important, sort of related to this particular incident, but just thinking about what happens every day as well?
Yeah, it would have been much better if the nurse came up with the patient and gave me the handover, but it's not going to happen, isn't it? Because ED is very busy nowadays.
Yeah, I think being realistic, right, it probably isn't going to happen, but I do think probably should mention it to the senior staff because actually it is a risk and it's something that you flagged up as happening all the time. Thanks so much for all of that. You really are the eyes and ears of the organisation and of the ward as well, so what you've said has been really valuable. I'm just going to summarise our conversation and just talk about the sort of key points that I think we've discussed today. So the first thing that I think I'm hearing from you, and please say if you don't agree, but is that there's quite high expectations from the senior staff around what you're capable of sort of coping with from a workload perspective, and that seems to be causing a bit of stress, particularly within the nursing team. Okay. Also, you've told me that the workload is particularly high at the moment, and I think in medicine as well, you're down a member of staff because of sickness, and that's obviously increasing the workload as well. And then I think the third point really is this confusion over the dual prescriptions, and that, I think we've raised quite an important risk there that I will need to feed back to probably the patient safety team and probably pharmacy as well to talk about, because that's something quite important. So I will feed back as well to Mr. Borealis and his wife and just let them know that we've talked about some system issues around communicating information between the 2 different departments. Is there anything else?
I don't think so, no.
No? Okay, so thank you so much. I'm going to let you go back now because I know the ward's really busy. So thank you very much.
Thank
All right,
you.
take care.
Thank you.